Namaste. Good afternoon or good morning, wherever you're showing up. I see we have two people letting us know they're from Florida and Maryland, the East Coast. You guys are up and going already today. I have a topic that I pulled a card that I want to talk about. Of course, we're going to do some readings, but we'll wait for a few more people to show up. But both Sheila and Kim, anything you want to share that's going on? Something that you think is really positive? Or yeah, Dana's texting. Where are you from? They already know. Sheila and Kim know the routine. So thank you so much. Robin said she had a wonderful weekend.
You're glowing again, Deb Shepherd.
I was going to talk about that when people are, for some reason, Dana and I are working really hard on trying to get the lighting to go. And for whatever reason, the last few weeks, it's just glowing.
I think it's your angels.
Yeah, something.
Guides. Yeah, so where they're from. Thank you, everybody. We love to see where you're tuning in from.
We have some New Mexico, Thornton, loving the Olympics. Yeah, we have some good Olympics going on. My son and I were talking about that last night. He said he wanted to learn how to do curling. So we're talking about your favorite Olympics. And I was like, curling? He goes, yeah, until we found out what the stone costs. I guess the stone is like 10 grand. Did you know that?
No, I had no idea.
Someone from England, Ontario, Canada, Lakewood, Citrus Heights. That's where I grew up.
I think she was on last week.
Sweet. I think we gave her a reading too. Yeah.
So you'll do readings here in just a little bit, but you always have a little bit of a topic to talk about first. Ask questions if Absolutely. You're on.
So if you're just coming on, realize that I am glowing. It doesn't have anything to do with my skincare regimen or anything I'm doing. For some reason, the lighting is just acting up. And Dana and I have messed with the lighting multiple times. I'm going to try one more thing here. And it doesn't want to work the way we need it to. So this is what you're going to get. Deb Shepherd that glows in the dark. I don't know.
Otherworldly, so I think it's appropriate.
So I have a deck of cards. It's probably the oldest deck I've ever had, and I've used it over 25 years. But I pulled a card, and it came up children. If you can see this, it's glowing in the dark too. And when I was thinking about this card, you may be dealing with some things with your kids or things like that. But to me, it's just much more expansive. It could be about things about your trauma during childhood. Are there things that you haven't healed or looked into, or even realize that maybe some of your behavior now in relationships or how you deal with money, any of those things that could be from some experiences from a child. And yesterday I was doing a session with somebody and we talked about scarcity that she had as a child that is still coming up in her life, and she's my age or older. So we carry these wounds with us for a very long time. The other way to look at this card is, are you finding time to play? I think we take things so freaking serious that we are trying to connect with our inner guidance. We're trying to use our gut feeling about stuff, but we make it so serious that we cannot identify what the information is. I really am glowing. I can't believe this. I'm just cracking up looking at myself. But with that said, it's when we become playful, when we're relaxed, when we breathe, when we become really creative, we can actually get information from our guides and our loved ones when we are becoming more childlike. If you think about also, children are curious. We have some grandchildren that are with us quite a bit. And we have Talea, the middle one, is always curious, always asking questions. And I think we forget to be curious. We get sort of, aligned with certain things. We've got to do it this way, and this is the rules. And if you don't, there's all this fear that we've accumulated over time. And children don't even understand fear. And, we're trying to protect them from getting burned or getting in front of cars or eating bugs on the ground, whatever it is. We're trying to get them to be safe because they have no fear. And they haven't had experiences where the fear has built up. Well, as adults over our lifetime, we've had these experiences that created fear. And it keeps us from being curious. And so when we are using our intuition, we use our intuition to protect ourselves from being hurt. And that's not how intuition works. Our ego and fear are, buddies. They like each other. The ego and fear like to, pair up and let you know that, don't do these things because guess what? Bad things going to happen. And children don't have those experiences. They don't have that ego. They don't have the fear. So they come from a perspective that's open and curious. And why do we have to make this so serious? And why do we have to do it this way? They become much more open to the world around them. If you are dealing with something or faced with something that is really serious, or in your mind serious, and you're in that place of fear, can you be a child and become curious and ask questions that will open up other doors, or have you see another perspective, or maybe even as you lighten up and have fun, your guidance will come through. Your guides work with you when you are lighter, when you're feeling more free. But if you're in that serious place and you're like, oh, grinding into the information, and you're really feeling, you got to do it right. You got to do it right. And your ego wants to be right. That whole right side of I got to do it right. I don't want anything bad to happen. And what will people think? And the judgment that we go through, all of those things that we use in our head, our guided system is completely out the window. So what you want to do is remember what it's like to be a child. And if you forgot, then maybe it's about watching some Disney shows. Maybe it's about Pixar, right? That's always great. Being playful again, be around kids, watch the curiosity. And I bet you anything that things start to shift for you, things begin to change. And our lightness, when we become lighter, that's when we're more connected to source. So tell me how you like to be a child. I think we don't give ourselves permission to be playful. A lot of times we think, well, as soon as I get all my stuff done, after I get all my list of things to do, maybe I'll sit down and have some fun. And I think it's the opposite. I think we should have a little bit more fun to create that balance. Someone said, my toddlers frequently remind me about the beauty of life's most simple pleasures. Absolutely. We forget how to just be present and see our surroundings. And if you want to have signs from your loved ones or signs from your guides, you've got to be playful. You've got to be present. You have to be, not have to be, but I encourage you to be in that space of awe. And that's where things show up in a really surprising, beautiful way.
Robin Schneider said, adults squash intuition in children, and is asking, where is the balance between exploration and safety while allowing kids to flourish?
Were you going to say something, Miss Dana?
No,
yeah, I think adults do squash children's intuition 100%. And I was mentioning to Leia, our little granddaughter, this girl is more curious. She wants to know how mountains are made and she's 4. Why does hair hold water? Mm-hmm. I mean, these are the curiosities. She's on the ground looking at the bugs and the lint and the dust and everything. She's curious. And what you want to do is take the time, in my opinion, to encourage them to explore. And in my program called Solution, what we call it is excavation of the soul. We excavate our wounds. And that excavation is something that we forget to do because we're scared. We're scared what we're going to find. Children are curious. What's around the other corner? What's underneath? What's on the other side? And so if we be more like that, that's going to be healing. And I think for 99.9% of the humans on this planet, it's our inner child. It is our wounds from being, as children, we were, a lot of people were wounded and had trauma. So all those fears, when they're not healed or looked at or recognized, then they carry through our life, and it creates a barrier between us and our intuition. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, lots of people commenting what they do to connect with their childlike self, or have that fun. Michelle's saying she sits in her hammock under a pine tree and eats ice cream.
Hey, I'm with you.
Perfect. Yeah.
And this Sheila, she says that her father always said the words that she was never as smart as her brothers. We hold on to those things. We don't hold on to the positive things. We always hold on to the negative things. Mm-hmm. And so those things, no matter what age, we keep thinking we're not enough. And so in our program, we really like to help people reframe, and how do we change that, and what do we believe, and how do we change those belief systems? Yeah. It's hard to be a kid. I mean, we think about how much responsibilities we have in life, and we don't give ourselves permission to be playful. I think having our grandkids around a lot has helped us to sometimes be that way. Let's go do bubbles. Let's do chalk on the sidewalk.
Mhm.
Let's go to the pool. And even though it could be a lot of work, there is a piece of it that is giving us the childlike innocence and curiosity.
Yeah, I've never drawn with so much chalk on a sidewalk until recently. It's fun. It's actually really fun.
Yeah.
So you're going to do a few readings, and I know people are kind of typing stuff in, but what Deb would like to have you share specific information. She does not do this in a hour-long session when you book a session, but there's so many people on with lots and lots of loved ones. So she likes to have you share the first name of your loved one that has crossed that you want to connect with, their first name, and what the relationship was with that person. So your husband's name, and in other words, relationship, and what their name is. And if it's the child's generation, your child, nephew, a friend of your children, she wants to have their age. Just if it's that children's generation, she wants their age. It helps her hone into the energy quicker.
And
yeah.
How I get it, I use all my senses. It's real fast on this kind of session. But they'll bring through things that are important. I feel a lot of it first of all, and then I'm able to hopefully give you some things to give you those validations that they're around. And I think we just want to know that they're at peace. And I would not do this work if they weren't. That's what I'm getting right now, that people are worried that they're not at peace. So we're not at peace. We're still struggling with, did I do the right thing? I didn't have the closure. I got whatever our story is. And they are not carrying that information. They're not carrying that with them. So that's part of this.
Yeah. And we randomly choose people, we as in I, and me and my guides. I don't know. Deb, you say we all the time. So it's kind of funny. I don't know if that's just something that I don't know. But I randomly choose people for a reading, and Deb just connects with their energy and does a real fast reading. So if you want a longer reading with Deb, you'll have to book time with her. But this is very quick mini readings that she does on here. Almost every week we jump on and do this. So how about this one? Jane Wanderlust would love to connect with her Aunt Margie.
Okay. Was this a recent passing? And Jane, if you, text back about if this information validates, it's really great. That way people that are online can tell whether this was accurate or not. First thing I get with Margie is funny. I feel like this is a fun loving, like I would like to want to hang with her. Like she brings a lot to the table. My heart's very heavy, and this could be you, or that there was something around chest or lungs or heart kind of connection for her. But this is what I'm getting. And I feel like she was sick for a period of time, but I feel like she had a lot of dignity around this. So either people gave her dignity, or she was, pushing through it as much as possible. And I don't know if people were worried that she was going to be alone when she died, or people thought she was alone, or, do they know, did she know we were there? And she's like, I was fine. I keep going, I'm just fine. Just someone that you're going to have a memories of for the rest of your life. I just feel like she was the one that you wanted her to sit next to you at the family gatherings, because she would just make you laugh. Mm-hmm. So she's fine. She's giving me a high five. She has a smaller, it feels like a dog with her. So this could be your dog, her dog, or someone from childhood, but she's got this dog with her. And she's talking about her hair looks really good. So I don't know. This could be that, her hair had to be done every week, or she wanted her hair to look a certain way, but she's patting her hair.
So she did type in that it was dementia.
Okay.
But as we know, other things happen to your body when you have dementia. Yeah. So
dementia is, the you can't communicate. So did she feel alone, especially if did they know we were there? Maybe communication, but fine. So and there's a lot of dignity. So that can mean if the family put her in a facility and they felt guilty, or how they were taking care of her, she's like, I'm good.
And she's saying, yes, it was recent. Yes, yes, yes. So think all these things
Yes,
are.
love that.
I don't know what was hitting, but she's saying yes to everything.
Good.
Exclamation points.
Well, I like being right. And we had this
Yes.
conversation in one of our, well, actually a few of our classes recently about being right. And I say, people want me to be right in my sessions and when I'm doing a reading. And so outside of my work, it's hard to not be right.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, it's very hard. Jane said you were right on. I have a Chris Duffy whose son Michael passed, and he was 43.
Okay. As always, when anyone loses a child, my heart goes out to, his name is Michael, right?
Yes.
I don't know if he went by, like you called him Michael, but other people called him another name. So it could be Mike, Mikey, something else, but I feel like there's also another name for him. Again, I'm getting this heaviness with my heart. And there's a sense of a really loving man. Like this guy had just a big heart, but I keep getting the weight of the world. And so either he felt like there was a weight of the world for him. Um, I see him juggling a lot, like trying to figure out how to balance it all. And he knows that there was, I keep getting support around him, but I I had this conversation with, even with my son. It's like, I want to do it myself. I want to take care of it myself. I don't need, other people to help me out. And that can be a challenge for all of us. And so if you as a mother or family thought, could have done more for whatever the reason, he's not showing me how he passed, but just that it could have done more. And he's like, no, I wasn't allowing anybody there. I'm also seeing a very outdoor sort of energy. So whether this man loved Mother Earth, loved fishing, loved camping, loved being outside was his go-to. Um, he's also saying that the family is a little confused about like what happened, like how this took place or what occurred. And so this could be if he was sick or he was mentally sick or whatever the story is.
Do you want a little piece of information?
Sure.
She said it was his children he was fighting for custody, and he was a police officer.
Okay, so that's the weight of the world on him too. So I don't know if he suicided or he. I don't feel like he was killed in line of duty. So I'm going to just assume that maybe he felt responsible for his life or trying to do things. But this is a good man.
He had
And
a heart attack.
he had a heart attack. Okay, that pressure on the heart, and this can be just the weight of the world. The only reason I would think that he had some responsibility, I think we have a tendency as men, I'm not a man, but men I see as tendency, they don't go to the doctor, they don't get help, they kind of push it off. And maybe this is where Michael says, I could have done something a little bit differently. He's telling me that someone has already gotten a tattoo in honor of him, or they are getting a tattoo in honor of him. So he feels like, he knows he's being celebrated. But the weight of the world that I feel from him is obviously the children and the mother of the children and his job. So my heart goes out to you for sure. And Michael was definitely a warrior here. Those earth angel warriors.
So she said it all. Yep. Very true. She's getting his thumbprint.
Okay.
She said as well.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's so, gosh, what you do to help people heal, Deb, it always touches my heart that they can hear from them just even for a moment.
It's at least it's more, I can be more visible than I was because I've been doing this work for 25 years. And it was such a secret. Then we were in the closet basically talking about this. And even today, I had a conversation where people are just so judgmental of the work that we do. But I can't imagine not being a messenger for this mother and for anybody that shows up here wanting to hear. And we're desperate. But I will tell you without a doubt, when you hear a message from somebody else, your loved ones are trying to tell you the same thing. They're trying to give you, messages in so many different ways. And that's why the more childlike we are when we get out of the fear or the guilt, that's going to be able to benefit us in so many different ways.
Yeah.
We have a new program starting here in September. I don't know when in September, Dana, but is it on the website?
It's not open yet, but you can jump on the wait list and it will open in, I think it's the third week of September that you start teaching this class. So yeah, it's Solution.
Yeah.
under courses. So if you decide you want to check it out, it's under courses on debshepard.com, which I'll put up the website here.
And this is this is really where you dig into your childhood stuff. You really start healing from a loss of your loved ones. You look at your belief system to dig really deep into your belief system. And Jane and I work really hard to help people, do a lot of healing work. And so to me, this is sort of a band-aid on a lot of things for people, but it's taking a little bit deeper. But I think we'll just do one more. I have been not sleeping the last few nights, so I'm a little tired today.
You want me to just randomly pick one, Deb?
Just one more, because I can't see all those. So.
Okay.
And if somebody has a personal question too, versus just a medium reading too.
Lots of medium readings. I don't see any other questions this minute. There is one that I did see, though. Somebody who attended an event. It must have been your last event. Her son, Rob, was 27. She stood in line to buy the book, Grieving to Believing, and you knew right away she had lost a young one. And she couldn't wait any longer. She waited in line. And so I just wanted to, because she was appreciating your awareness of the loss of her son. So her son, Rob, passed at 27.
Okay. I told my son's going to be here in a couple of weeks, so maybe even less.
Her name is Lori.
Okay. Lori, I feel like you're just one of those really loving, protective moms, that you'll do anything for your kids. And my sense around this is, I keep using the word tragic. Anytime anyone loses a child, it is tragic. There's no two ways, no matter how they go. I don't feel like he was I don't feel like there's cancer going on, but I feel like maybe there was an addiction of some sort, or sort of some things that he wasn't able to manage very well, is what it feels like. So whatever that was. I also get this nice, he had a sense of humor. Like this guy, he really wanted good things for other people. Kind of like what Michael came through. Michael, obviously a police officer trying to take care of his kids, and Dana and I understand those stories. Or, fathers don't usually try to get their kids, and I feel like that's the case. And I feel like, what's Lori's son's name again?
Hang on, let me go back. I'm
sorry.
Messages. No, it's okay. Her son was Rob.
Rob.
Yes to everything. Yes.
Okay. Heavy heart, and there's a feeling of not feeling worthy or not feeling enough, and this could have been childhood wounds that we talked about earlier. Maybe his relationship with his father. Maybe, and it doesn't mean it's blaming somebody else, but obviously contributed to those things. And I see that sometimes they get into this place of heaviness in their heart. Like, how do I show up? And I think, and this is sort of a soapbox thing, but I think social media and all the peer pressure really has caused a lot more stress for people. So that's what I'm getting for him. He just felt like, wasn't enough. So there's a sense that he felt he abandoned himself. And he's there, it feels like, with an older male. So this may be your grandfather or a grandfather figure of some sort, or uncle, great uncle. He also feels that he's telling me he's got wings. And I feel like that's the angelic feeling. Like sometimes people think, well, where are they? And religion can make us feel, they're in a bad place, or they're stuck, or they're in hell. And he is not in any of those places. I just feel like he's not carrying the stress and the things that he had here. Bottom line, you want your child here, you want your loved ones here, but he's just like, Mom, I'm okay. I just want you to know I'm okay. Yeah. And lots of love. He knows that he has missed. He knows that he is loved. He knows these things deeply.
So a couple of things I wanted to mention real quick. Deb does as many readings as she can during these times. If you want, or are desperate to hear from your loved one, know that you can book time with her. I see all your messages. I understand she can only do so many each week. And so thank you for joining. Keep joining. Book time with her if you really need to have that healing time with her. Give me a call for that. But also, somebody is trolling you guys. One of you, Carla, you said that somebody is sending messages out offering readings. That is not Deb. Check the spelling. They do weird things with spelling, and they send out these messages as if it's Deb, and it is not her. She will only do these on the live. So be cautious, do your due diligence and check it out. She won't send messages. So
They're scammers.
they're scammers. Yeah. I'm so sorry that happens. We try to catch them and cut them off. But yeah, that's not her, but you'll be on again, I think next week, Deb.
Okay.
And then you'll be gone for a week or two after that, but we'll be on again next week.
Yeah. Lots of love. Take care of yourself. Find a way to be childlike. And I promise you, it will be an easy way to connect with your loved ones and your guides. So thank you. Namaste.